back, everybody. I'm Jay. He's Maddie. This is Yankee and the Brit Sports Talk. Today, we're going to continue our predictions division by division with the NFC West. But before we get going, Maddie, I have to give a shout out, and I am so sorry I forgot your name. But whoever posted on the Yankee and the Brit today that the Cowboys are going to get beat like a snitch at a biker rally, if we had a quote of the day award, you would win it. That's for sure.
I'm going to get that printed out and put it on my wall as motivation for the Cowboys as a whole. We're recording this about, what time did the Cowboys game start? Like 20 past
4
1?
hours from now.
4 hours? Yeah, 20 past 1 in the morning for me. So we're recording about 4 hours before the Cowboys game, hence the Romo jerseys come out. You know, obviously this will be getting released after, so I'm going to look like an idiot. But for some reason, I'm caught up in the whole Cowboysness of it all. And for some reason, I think we're going to win. I don't know why. It's really horrible because I know we're actually going to get the breaks beaten off us at about 34-10 or something like that.
So when the Vikings were not as good as they are now, like not that they're like, you know, world beaters, but when they were in the dumps for a while, I always wanted to catch the Packers early because it's easy to beat a better team in the first couple weeks than it is when they're hot. So for you guys to catch them week 1, that's your best shot at getting them right now.
Yeah. I like, we'll probably do the NFC West. We'll probably do a little live video or something before the game or something like that, just to give our reviews. So I hope you guys have seen that because it'll be in the past. That's always weird about recorded podcasts a bit earlier, isn't it? So we're going to start off by talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they are a real team who've had real injury issues. That's their one problem. I've got them going 12-5 in this division.
11-6. We're always one off.
Always one off. Always 1 or 2 games.
To make it simple, I actually got better at taking notes, and instead of going back through, I wrote them down. So I got them losing to the Packers, Seahawks, Colts, Rams. In Minnesota, I got them losing I got them losing to Minnesota because I think by then Jimmy G's not the starter and Zimmer's defense is really rough on rookies. But It could be a homer pick, okay? And then the Titans. I have them losing to the Titans.
So I've got them losing to the Cardinals once, the Rams both times, at the Titans, and at Seattle. That's why I've got them.
I can see that.
That's why I've got them losing as. My reason for the Cardinals is because I've got them splitting with the Cardinals. The Cardinals seem to play really hard in division, and they're a very similar kind of team to the 49ers, especially if they have Trey Lance in. They'll be very, very similar kind of team.
I oddly think once we get there, that might be the biggest one we disagree on all of these videos is probably the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Rams are like, I think they've got a bit more to get them over the top. We'll talk about that. The Titans kind of run the ball just as well, if not better, than the 49ers. And we both think Tannehill's probably a better quarterback than Jimmy G. Or Trey Lance, as it might be at this point. How I see the whole Trey Lance thing coming out is I've got Jimmy G starting because they are a good football team. Like they're good. If they were a dog football team or if they had an easier schedule, I would have thrown in Trey Lance and added him to the run game. I've got
if they didn't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I've got them maybe starting Trey Lance, Bengals, and then keeping him in for the last 5 games. If Jimmy G's leaving a lot of points on the field and they feel like in playoff games, that'll hurt them.
Yeah, Jimmy G has to play really bad or get injured because they would have traded him otherwise, and got something. But I don't wish this on him, but that guy's got some bad injury luck.
He's got some horrible injury problems.
At some point, we're going to see Trey Lance.
Yeah, it's something that you've got to think of with his injury problems. And when you look at it, Bengals, Falcons, Titans, Texans, Rams, that's their easiest run of this schedule. The NFC West have caught it hard, man. Like they have caught it difficult in their schedules. Like really, actually, the NFC West is much nicer than the AFC West. I must say, but the NFC West
the NFC West is a rough schedule for those teams because, and I don't think it'll happen, but what if a team like the Falcons, that offense is clicking, you know what I mean? By the time they get there, there could be some rough games we're not even thinking about right now.
Yeah, and they've got a difficult division. You don't really want to be playing the NFC North at any time just because they are hardcore teams in that division rather than them being great, still the Vikings, Bears, Lions are hardcore teams. And the 49ers have injury problems, and they're the kind of people that you don't want to be playing. I think their defensive run game will be absolutely electric, flying around, sparking people out. If their roster can stay healthy, they've got one of the best rosters in the NFL. Jimmy G is a good enough operator, especially with that run game to get them going. But I just see it, if Jimmy G's leaving a lot of points on the field and they're getting in a lot of close games with teams like the Vikings, no disrespect, but if you're in a close game with the Vikings, chances are you're not going to win the Super Bowl, even though the Vikings defense and run game is geared to keep you in a close game. I guess you don't want to be in a close game with the Vikings. You definitely don't want to be in a close game with like the Bears, the
Vikings,
Cardinals, even.
The Vikings actually are a great point because they had a really young defense, and we know they upgraded it this year. But last year, they were fourth in the league in scoring offense. Fourth.
Yeah.
So if you let them put points on you, and Jimmy's got to try to carry the team because Delvin Cook went off. I mean, you could see Trey Lance come in to give him a spark. I agree with you.
Yeah, I've got them running Trey Lance packages from week one. Like week one, they run Trey Lance packages.
He's Taysom Hill.
And then if it's a close game with the Vikings, if they don't, so they go Jags, Vikings, Seattle, and then they go into that easier run of Bengals, Falcons, Titans, Texans, Rams. Obviously, the Titans and the Texans are not the nicest teams to come up against, but that's their easiest run. If you see them going in, not destroying the Jags, and Jimmy G's leaving a lot of points on the fields, not like really struggle. If they really struggle against the Vikings, and if they lose to Seattle, you can see them bringing Trey Lance in to get him 5 games in before the playoffs to see what they've got there, you know?
I think it's very underrated, and not because of his play on the field, because of his leadership. And I know he had off-field stuff, but I think Sherman is going to be greatly missed in that defense. Yeah. I do.
And he like holds you down. He's like a brain guy. Like he's a coach already. Like he coaches the secondary already, and he's a coach on the field, much like Tom Brady. So with that 49ers run game, if they want to add Trey Lance to it to really make it tick in the playoffs and stuff like that, you can see them bringing them in for those games against Bengals, Falcons, Titans, like that run towards the end. That's why I see Trey Lance coming in 12-5. That was a very negative chat for a 12-5 team. They are a good,
I went 11-6 and shit on them too. So we're kind of in the same boat.
I think what we're saying is they're a fantastic team, but have the potential to have a lot of problems in terms of what if Trey Lance, like the issue with Trey Lance is what if he throws interceptions? What if he doesn't know? Like there's a lot of unknowns about them, apart from the fact they have an amazing roster. Like that's the known that we have about them.
Right. And being that they're just removed not too long ago from an NFC championship game 2 years ago, and they're not going to be as good as that team. So that's where they're being compared to, I think, where we're getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think their defense has got enough to win them games. And their run game's just no other team's going to be on the field with them for that long, you know? A team that may have I can't see a hole with this team personally is the Los Angeles Rams. And I've got them going 13-4.
Okay. See, we're close again. I got them 12-5.
Yeah. I can't see a hole in this team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think their only problem is that sometimes that run I know they tout because of Aaron Donald, and this isn't a shot at them, but when a team gets going with screen games in the running game, that's the teams that put them in trouble. So what I did for their losses is I put teams that are going to stretch them on that defense
Yeah.
and teams that are going to stifle their running game, I think are the teams that are going to have that are going to beat them. Where I have Tampa Bay beating them.
Yeah.
I have the 49ers beating them once.
Uh-huh.
I have the Packers beating them because they'll spread you out and you got to go wide. I have the Vikings beating them because you have to run against 700 pounds in the middle of that defense. And the Cowboys, the Vikings, and a couple other teams are the best linebackers in football. And then I have the Ravens beating them because of Lamar.
The Ravens just keep you off the field. Like the Ravens just
Right.
stop you from getting anywhere. Like they keep you off the field. So how can you win? Because they have a stellar defense, and then
And my guess is you have them beating the Vikings.
Yeah, I have them beating the Vikings. So I've got them losing to the Bucks. I've got them losing to the Titans for the same reason as the Ravens.
Matt Stafford is the reason I have them beating the Titans, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're right.
Yeah, well, I've got them losing to the Packers, and I'm not entirely sure about that loss. I think I'd rather give them a loss against the 49ers than I would give them a loss against the Packers, the more I think about it, if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But they have Jalen Ramsey to shut off Devontae Adams. And then what else have the Packers got from there, I guess, is the question. Well, they've got Aaron Rodgers. That's who they
And this might be because I live here, but I hear MVS has been balling out.
Yeah, and
practice.
In Green Bay. It's in your hometown, man.
Correct.
So, that's the trek from Los Angeles to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers will tell you makes you a miserable fuck, so that's like that's not going to be the nicest thing ever. And then the Ravens as well, with their run game, can keep them off the pitch. I've got them beating the Vikings. I've got them beating the 49ers twice. That's the way that I see it.
Once again, you and I are only one game off, so let's see, because this was the hardest team. This next team was the hardest one for me in the division to figure out what they're going to be, and it was the Seahawks, and I got them going 10-7,
9-8. That's so weird. Honestly, we don't talk about this before ever. Like we don't ever say.
Yeah, we made bitch to each other like this is completely ridiculous, but we don't talk about what we.
Yeah,
think
it's
is
like
ridiculous.
The only message we'll send every now and again is, "Damn, these guys have got a hard schedule," or.
Right.
And have you seen like the injury news of this? Like we try not to talk too much about what we're filming until we sit down and film it. And then we get really close together, but we have very different opinions on football. So it's a very interesting, maybe we just take each other's ideas and like meld them into our own thinking. The Seahawks are going to struggle with teams that keep them off the field this year. Their run defense wasn't great last year. Russell Wilson can't win if he's not on the field, and they're playing a lot of teams who run the ball.
Yeah, so for me, with the offseason with Wilson, I don't know if him and Pete Carroll are really good. I know you're going to say it, but I don't know if you really are. I don't know him in the organization. They have defensive issues, even though it got a lot better towards the end of the year. DJ Metcalf is a freaking monster. If they can keep Russell Wilson, or as in Wisconsin, we call him because the Badgers, Rusty Wilson, can keep standing, then I think they're a really good team. If not, they're in trouble. I have them losing to the Colts. I have them losing to the Saints, the 49ers once, the Rams once, the Packers, and the football team.
Yeah, I think the football team's a very close game. That's what I could have made it 8 and 9 on the football team. I've got them beating the football team. I think they're going to struggle with anybody with a pass rush and anybody who can run the ball. The only problem is the Washington football team shouldn't, on paper, have a lot to make you worry about anything else than them running the ball, really.
I can give you one guarantee about their Seahawks season.
Yeah.
With 4 minutes left in the game, they will be losing to the Vikings. And they will win the game before it's over because it happens every freaking time that we'll lose in the last 4 minutes. But okay.
I've actually got them going 0-4 to start 1-4 to start the season. I've got them beating the Colts first up. And then just because I don't trust the Colts, there's just something about them that I don't trust. We talk about this in
So
another
wait,
video.
do you have my Viking? You have my Vikings winning?
Yep. So I've got the Titans beating them, the Vikings beating them. I've got the Titans, Vikings, 49ers, and Rams all beating them down to run game. And then the Packers due to Aaron Rodgers. And then I've got the 49ers beating them again due to run game. Rams beating them again due to run game. I've got them splitting with the Cardinals. Usually the Cardinals and the Seahawks is a really, really fun game to watch. And I can see both games going either way. That'll be really, really close. My main problem with them is that not even Patrick Mahomes can win without an O-line.
Right.
Russell Wilson said, can you fix the O-line? It doesn't look like they've fixed the O-line. They've changed the offensive coordinator to the guy who was like the offense was the only thing keeping them in games last year, and they changed the offensive coordinator. The defense doesn't cover the run too well. The thing is, if you can't run the ball and you can't defend the run well, then you're not going to have a lot of time for Russell Wilson to be on the pitch to win you games. That's how I see it. Russell Wilson is worth a lot of points every single game. That's why they've still got a winning record. For me, it's the same as Matthew Stafford for the Rams. He's the guy that in those close games will get you over the top. But if you can't have him on the pitch, then it's like the Rams are going to have Matthew Stafford on the pitch enough. But
I truly believe it's his last year in Seattle too.
I'm not entirely sure about that. I think we'll see. I think we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure the Seahawks will cut him a deal if they go.
Well, I think what happened
or 7-10 or whatever this season.
When he was unhappy and wanted to be traded, I think they went to him and said, "1 more year, and we'll get you out of here." But I think if they go, that's what I think.
I think if Pete Carroll takes everything off him, and they go 7-10 this year, and they don't go to him and say, "Right, well, you were clearly right. You can have it this season," then he's leaving. That's how I personally see it. The one person who's definitely not leaving their team is Kyler Murray for the Arizona Cardinals. They better do everything they can to hold on to that man. He's the reason their franchise is on an upward trajectory. I've got them going 11-6.
Okay. I got them 5-12.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't be as high on the Cardinals as I was. But.
I got them getting swept swept in the West. And I have them losing to the Titans, Rams twice, 49ers twice, the Browns, the Packers, the Seahawks twice, the Colts, and your Cowboys.
I've got them splitting every team in the division. I've got them beating the Cowboys. I've got them losing to the Browns, of course. Got them losing to the Packers as well. I think they're a really exciting team. No matter if they're going to win, if they're going to go 5-12, whatever, or if they go 11-6, it's going to be exciting to watch. I think the pace of their defense is really going to catch people off guard early on. Xavier Collins is an absolute animal, and I expect people to be calling me, asking to be their NFL scout for when Xavier Collins goes off, because I said he was probably, after Micah Parsons, he's the best linebacker in the draft. I think he's incredible. They also have the easiest schedule out of the other teams, apart from maybe the 49ers.
I think, though, see, that was my problem, is that I think the West has such a murderous schedule, okay, for overall. And this is not a shot at Kyler Murray, and he can probably do it, but Cliff Kingsbury is doing the same thing that McVay did to Goff, and he's telling him what the audible is with 15 seconds still left in his ear. And I saw last year what Belichick did to the Rams in the Super Bowl is you wait till after that 15 seconds on the play clock so they no longer can talk to you, and then you switch your whole defense.
Yeah, the thing is with that, though, with Kyler Murray can then work with that, whereas Jared Goff is...
Right.
Jared Goff can work with it in a totally different way. I'm sure Jared Goff is smart enough, and Sean McVay just trusted the guy. I'm sure he's smart enough, but Kyler Murray is smart enough, and when the play breaks down, can take off.
I think that we shit on the 49ers with giving them a good grade, right?
Yeah.
This is me shitting on a team that I think has a ton of talent and is coming.
Yeah. If their division wasn't so brutal, we would be a lot higher on them. I think there's going to be a lot of close games that can go either way. And
they catch the Titans, they catch the Packers. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not even saying that they could lose to the Bears or beat the Bears, depending if how Justin Fields is playing. I just think they got a murderous row of games, and a lot of them smack you in the mouth back to back. Like, think about this. I just lost it. There it is. They have a stretch at the end of the season, or they got a stretch in the middle of the season with, if you take the Texans out of that stretch, they got 6 weeks of teams that are just rough. I'm not saying they'll lose to all of them, but it's rough.
Yeah, and Browns, Texans, then Packers, 49ers, Panthers.
It could be a rough game, though. I mean, the Panthers, we don't know, and you got Christian McCaffrey, and so
we don't know anything. Like the Panthers, when we were talking about it in the NFC South, they're a team that we don't really know what's going to happen. With the Cardinals, though, I think they've got so many playmakers on one field that you feel like they're gonna make plays when they have to, like Buda Baker, Xavier Collins.
This is the only team that if it flips from 5 to 12 to 12 to 5, I wouldn't be
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, I'm not overly surprised at any of the losses that you've said.
I text you before we started, and I go, "Oh my gosh! If I would have just went on here and guessed records without looking at the schedules, they would be way different, right?" And so the way I did it is I just go down and I start marking losses, and then I go back and count how many losses. And I got down with the Cardinals, and I said, "How the hell do I have them losing 12 games?" It was that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course, and then with JJ Watt now on the team as well, you feel like that's a calmer head in the dressing room, or a head who's, I suppose he hasn't won that many games as a Texan, but
they got great receivers. It logically doesn't make sense to me how I came up with this, but I did it more than once.
You can understand them crumbling, and I think in their division, they've got the worst coaching setup, and that's how it could crumble. But then I also think in their division, they have the most playmakers to overcome bad coaching.
Right. And 6 of their losses come in their division. So if that doesn't happen, that completely changes the record also.
Like the 49ers don't overcome bad coaching. They're just great because of their coach. The Rams have fantastic players, but
good coaching too.
Many amazing weapons. So Sean McVay's scheme is filthy. Pete Carroll is an excellent defensive head coach.
Russell Wilson makes up for
Russell Wilson is a coach on the field, so you have that kind of thing. Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury's yet to show me anything, but then they also have Kyler Murray, JJ Watt, Buda Baker, Xavier Collins,
AJ
Green, the best receiver, man.
Oh, Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. There we go. The playmaker. I can't believe that we forgot about him, but Anthony Hopkins as well. They have so many playmakers on the field that you feel like you could just send them out there, and if it was schoolyard ball, they'd just be everybody in their division. But because of the coaching, will they be everybody in their division? It's a really difficult team to judge. Them and the New England Patriots, I think, are the two hardest teams to judge. But I think we can comfortably say the NFC West is one of the best divisions in football.
And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. That's
a lot of fun to watch. NFC West, AFC East, those divisions are going to be fun to watch this year.
All right, guys. Well, I think we did it. We'll catch you up with our last one, which will be the NFC South.
Nope.
AFC West. AFC West. And I just been doing that all week, guys, but that's the right. AFC West will be the next one coming. And I haven't even talked to Maddie about this, but I'm going to go back later. I am going to publicly shout out the lady who took a shot at Maddie. And best comment of the week, I'm going to give a shout out to every week. So comment on our posts and our memes. And I'm going to write some down, and the best one of the week is going to get a shout out every week. That's my new thing. So comment, like, and share.
Yeah, I'm preparing my response. I like to dwell over the insults first and then write it out, prepare it, before our guy. There will be a response to that comment before the Cowboys kick off, and then an apology for the comment when the Cowboys lose 34-7.
All right, guys. Well, I'll get it right this time. AFC South is yet to come. Thanks for watching. Or AFC West.
The AFC West.
I can't even talk. Maddie, I tried to get you to do this the other day, and you're like, nope, you're just going to keep screwing it up. So
we're a professional organization over here, Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. The AFC West is coming next. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.